with that exclusive interview with former President Barack Obama. And Robin, you sat down with him before today's groundbreaking on the Presidential Center in partnership with the former First Lady, Michelle Obama.
That's right, and we certainly did talk about that project, but also the hopes he has that it will make an impact on the south side of Chicago and beyond. We also spoke about how his former VP, President Joe Biden, is doing, from the situation at the border to the high-stakes battle to get his agenda through Congress. You are embracing your post-presidency. What has it been like for you? How are things?
Things have been fantastic. More time with Michelle, more time with the girls. We have been very excited about the programs that our foundation has launched.
So much going on right now, and you know President Biden extremely well. And this is a really important moment in his administration, needing to pass comprehensive legislation. And even within the Democratic Party, there seems to be some divide. How do you think he is handling this particular moment, and what does he need to do to pass his agenda?
The Build Back America program is something that America desperately needs. When you look at the overall package, it's got a headline price tag of $3.5 trillion, but that's not a single year. This is spread out over a number of years, and most importantly, it's paid for by asking the wealthiest of Americans to pay a few percentage points more in taxes in order to make sure that we have a economy that's fair for everybody. So,
but should they be concerned that that's how they're going to have to pay for it?
They can afford it. We can afford it. I put myself in this category now, and I think anybody who pretends that it's a hardship for billionaires to pay a little bit more in taxes so that a single mom gets child care support, or so that we're doing something about climate change for the next generation, that's an argument that is unsustainable. And as far as Democrats are concerned, I think President Biden is handling it exactly right.
So you feel confident it's going to pass?
I believe that it will get done. It'll be messy, as it's always messy to get big, serious legislation done.
The other big story, the images coming out from the border in Texas with the Haitian immigrants. In 2010, when they had that devastating earthquake, your administration allowed Haitians under a special temporary legal status here in the U.S. But now we're seeing, under the current administration, sending them back to an island in crisis. Not only the earthquake, the assassination of their president. How do you square what we're seeing right now?
Unfortunately, comprehensive immigration reform has consistently gotten stuck, partly because we can't get enough Republicans to support it. What happened, at the Texas border is a painful reminder that we don't have this right yet.
And you can understand Americans seeing those images coming out of the border right now, how it's very difficult to see.
It is heartbreaking, and it is, I think, one of those situations in which if you have a system that overall is dysfunctional, you are going to get episodes in which what's happening right in front of you is something that nobody wants.
Having been in the White House for 8 years, when you are turning on the news, how do you handle it?
We've gone through really tough times in this country. Much worse than this. Each of us doing our part, I think, is the best way to deal with anxiety. My mother always used to tell me, if you're feeling anxious, go get busy. Do something.
Another issue on the former president's mind, widespread gun violence in his beloved city of Chicago. Over 600 murders already this year.
Talk about something I wanted to get done that I couldn't get done, was get smarter, common sense, gun safety measures in place through Congress. But what we can do is potentially give young people the sense that there's another way for them to empower themselves.
The Obamas are doing just that with the groundbreaking of the Obama Presidential Center right in the heart of the South Side.
You have the home where Michelle grew up. You have my first apartment. So part of the reason we're here is because just about everything that's important to me in my life started here. There's young people who are enormously talented, but often forgotten. And so for us to be able to build a world-class institution that will attract millions of people. Hopefully, we'll send a signal that those young people count. Those young people matter.
And so in our next hour, Barack Obama will show us the plans for his new center, including historical artifacts from his days in the White House that will be on display. And he tells me how he hopes to bring social and economic opportunities to the south side of Chicago for generations to come. And as we alluded to earlier, there is a group there, Chicago Women in Trade, and they are hands-on helping to build the center. And he's very proud of that. So we'll have much more on that in the next hour.
We are looking forward to that.
Our GMA cover story, more of our exclusive interview with former President Barack Obama ahead of the groundbreaking ceremony for his presidential center set to take place in Chicago this afternoon. A wide-ranging conversation covering his remarkable journey to post-presidency, his ambitious plans for the center and South Side community, and his hope for the next generation. So part of it is that the museum, part of the center, is going to have these wonderful artifacts from your administration.
Obviously, one of the things that makes history real for people is when they can see objects that were part of that history.
This right here, look at that baby face.
I can't believe that anybody would entrust somebody that young with anything, much less a seat in the U.S. Senate.
We stand here as one people, as one nation, proclaiming ourselves to be one America.
When I look at this young man in the picture, I think I'm glad that he was idealistic enough to think that he could actually pull it off.
Now, this certificate of marriage reminds me of the conversation that we had in 2012 at the White House. Mr. President, are you still opposed to same-sex marriage?
It is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married. One of the themes we hope of the Presidential Center is that all of us have a role to play in our neighborhoods, in our local communities. This, I think, is a wonderful symbol that quiet activism that happens every day to make our country better and the world better.
From the Senate to the White House and the journey along the way, former President Barack Obama cementing his legacy with the groundbreaking of his presidential center.
There will be at the top a incredible room where people can look out over the Chicago landscape, and we'll have a branch of the Chicago Library here. We'll have classrooms and recording studios where young people can learn how to tell their stories. Is it true that once upon a time you wanted to be an architect? It is true. This is true. When I was a kid, and I'm fascinated with the architectural process and these little models and how these things get to put together.
The center, a blueprint for success. The vision crafted alongside the former First Lady. It's the Obamas' ambitious promise to uplift their South Side community.
We've set an extraordinarily high bar in terms of making sure that the people in these communities benefit, and we want to make sure that we're hiring people from the community, but we're also training them for a profession that over the long term they can build a life with and support a family with.
That pipeline includes Chicago Women in Trades, one of the organizations helping to build the center.
When we put out Chicago Women in Trades, it really resonates. It lets people know that this is the big city, and it is women that are building this city, rebuilding this city, and repairing this city.
Women like Zara Hill, a plumber, and Jennifer Ortiz, an iron welder, both lending a hand over the next 4 years.
This is history, and I'm a part of it. I'm a female Latina, out there building Chicago.
It'll benefit my children, it'll benefit my grandchildren, it'll benefit my great-grandchildren to say that I had a little girl from Chicago, West Side, that threw her name in the hat.
The women committed to building a brighter future. So to recognize and celebrate their achievements, we wanted to give them a bit of a surprise. There's just so many people who want to say thank you to you, and I can't think of a better person to do that if you turn around right now.
Oh, no.
Excuse me, I had to come and say hi.
You're going to make me cry.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Oh, my God, great.
I'm so excited.
So you get to the short one last?
Yes, of course.
Oh, my goodness,
So nice
I'm
to
so
see you.
honored. Thank you.
Well, I am so excited that you guys are going to help build this world-class institution.
Thank you.
You guys ready?
Yes.
You ready to get to work? All right, let's do it.
President Obama paving a strong foundation and charting a new path forward for generations to come.
What's most important for your next act?
The thing that I figured out towards the tail end of my presidency is that you just don't have enough time to get everything done that you believe in. The single most important thing I can do is grab the next 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 or million Baracks and Michelles and maybe make the path just a little easier for them to make a difference. And if the center and the foundation that we put together is helping to plant that seed and empower a whole next generation of young leaders, that's a better and more important legacy to me than anything I got done by myself.
And again, the groundbreaking is this afternoon in Chicago. It's slated to be completed by 2025. Michelle Obama very much involved in the planning of it as well. And he said they didn't want a mausoleum.
Yeah.
And it's a sprawling complex that has so many different aspects to it, a garden and place for the kids to play, a library. And it's just very important to him that it is being an economic as well as social boost to that area of the city.
And how about the Chicago women in trades?
Yeah,
And
right.
just the inspiration and the work they're putting in to inspire the next generation in South Side of Chicago.
Because their ancestors are going to be able to say, my mama,
Yeah,
my
exactly.
mama built that, or my
Exactly.
grandma built that. And it's going to mean so much to them. And we'll have more of the interview with former President Obama tonight on Nightline.